of Mercury. I am your interplanetary host, Travis Montgomery. These views reflect one planet and one planet alone. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Mercury's Cast. I'm your interplanetary host, Travis Montgomery. Well, let's welcome Darin back to the show. Hey, buddy, how's it going over there?
Oh, going pretty good. Playing with these new toys, trying to figure out all this damn technology. Here, buy this, buy that. I'll sell you my soul to the devil to buy some VR glasses.
Oh, yeah, you got some new toys?
My phone broke the other day, and I was due for an upgrade, so I got the new S7 Galaxy. And they gave me some promo where the VR glasses were like $50, and what the hell? You know what? That is in the forefront of technology right now. The VR stuff is huge. I mean, it is, but I have a feeling they suckered me into it. I think I'm going to use this thing for like 2 weeks and be like, yeah, it's cool, and I'm going to put it on a shelf and I'm going to sit there for another 10 years. Until they come out with something better. Yeah. No, actually, I don't know. I think that, well, maybe not what you have, but the technology itself is going to, they're just at the forefront right now. And have you seen the videos of people that are using the VR and they try and like, how scared they get and how real it feels to them? I mean, that's a pretty... A friend of mine has one. I've messed around with them before, man. It's actually pretty damn cool. Which one? Do you know which one he has? Is it the Oculus Rift? Yeah, that's the one I got. He's got this is the second one. I guess it's the new one, and they had another one out like 2 months ago. Apparently, the only difference with this one is it fits more phones. It fits like 4 phones instead of just one. Whoa. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, let's welcome. I want to go back to that. Let's welcome Tim back to the show. Also, Tim, my main man, who lives way too far away from me. How are you doing tonight?
Doing all right. Just, living life.
Anything new going on with you? Any kind of ventures that you're on musically or creatively, business-wise? You can drop on us.
Not much, man. Pretty much everything that's going on. I'm out here. I'm working here at Pro Imprint, doing customized promotional materials for corporations and large events and things like that. So that's pretty much my day-to-day, man. I don't really have time for extracurriculars or or much else. I mean, like I said, in terms of I have been doing some more music. I've been doing some studio sessions, which reminds me I need to send you some files. But yeah, man. Last 3 weeks, I only been in the lab for the last 3 weeks. It's nothing super special, bro. So don't get too excited. You got anything that you can play into your mic right now that we can hear? That would be awesome. No, man, not on deck. Not on deck. It's like it's actually on the phone or in my Gmail, but it's like not anything close to me right now that I could just push play or anything.
Well, for anyone that doesn't know, me and Tim kind of hooked up in the realm of music. I was just thinking about those days, man. It was like mandatory. Like, I'd get off work, I'd come pick you up. We'd go to the studio until it was too late, and then I would take you home and go back to work. I was thinking about how crazy that was that we were doing that.
Almost every day of the week.
Almost. Yeah. We really utilized our time at that spot that we had. That was beautiful.
You know what? Actually, I'm a little remiss. I wish we would have did more. But you know what? That's always, we're always wishing for more.
I know, and I don't know. Part of me feels like when I was like, we need to mix this, we need to get this one out, and then you're like, no, I don't want that vibe. We need to just have a creative vibe. And I'm like, no, we need to finish this one before we go on to the. And it was kind of like, I never put anything out, it was a problem. But I mean, we made a little money. We had a lot of fun, but I was like, if we could just finish.
We have a lot of stuff that's kind of unfinished, but you know what's been going on with my personal life, bro. So it's not anything that, no one else can say of me. So,
oh yeah. Well, there's a lot of things. Why I don't blame anything.
on you, or stuff happens the way it does. So
no,
Darin,
it does. But like I said,
let me go back to Darin with the VR, because I'm really fascinated by this.
I just found out. Just to answer your question, the new Rift. I just said I'm looking at my book here. I did not get the Rift. I thought I did. It's just a new one. The Rift just has like earphones on it.
Okay. Well, they say at some point that it's going to become so good that it's going to be hard to distinguish between what's the virtual reality and what's the real reality. And then if you want to go even deeper, then what's reality anyways? I mean, we don't need to go down this whole thing, but it's an interesting, maybe it might be something that a segment that we put together to cover fully, because people like not Elon Musk, but Ray Kurzweil. Elon Musk is scared of technology progressing forward, but people like Ray Kurzweil think that we're going to be able to have computer chips the size of blood cells going throughout our brain in the 2030s that is going to augment our reality. I don't know. There's a bunch of crazy shit on the horizon. We don't need to go that far.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to be dead, or they're going to be dead. One of the two.
Yeah, the technology is like we're living on that curve. That's what I was saying to you before, bro. It's like, it's very exciting, but it's very dangerous. It's kind of scary to be on that precipice, looking over into the abyss of like what's like we're things that we don't really have a choice to So nano size cell computers that can augment reality is almost a reality, and they're cloning things and things like we just came up with electricity not too long ago.
I know, and the internet, like fucking. What?
In the term of like the timeline, so if you think about where we're at now, like it took like 3 decades. In the last 3 decades, you went from not being able to have today to having like that microchip in your pocket, like you're connected to the world. You can Google anything. You have the hive mind, and it's progressing at a speed. There's also the fact that, it's almost alive in itself, because if you look at the information highway in terms of technology on a graphic or a topographic scale, it's almost scary, man. It's like just this crazy ass information is being shared almost immediately. It's being disseminated at a rate that you couldn't believe, man. And so we're almost too smart for our own good, so to speak.
Instantaneously, yeah. So pretty much our phones know more than we do because they have access to the internet.
Remember when they said calculators were bad?
Right? And now you can ask Siri about your girlfriend problems, and she's going to put you right on track. Well, I don't know. I don't have an iPhone, but you get what I'm saying.
Siri doesn't know shit. She's got an attitude, and she doesn't know shit.
Yeah, fuck Siri. I tried one time, but all she gave me was a ringtone. Yeah. I don't know. That one kind of fell off.
She called me an idiot once because I asked her some like open-ended question, and she's like, "Then you must be a fool," or some bullshit.
There are some pretty fun stuff that you could ask her. Well, anyways, Darin, what do you think about the VR stuff? Are you on board? You think it's cool? You think it's going to die off?
Probably die off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a toy. I mean, really, people will be like, "Oh, yeah, like me in this situation. Oh, yeah, it's cool to mess around with it for a little bit." There ain't anything out there that's going to beat real life. Like, I heard of these little dudes over there, but Korea or China or whatever, they're having these freaking virtual reality sex things going on. Sorry.
Oh,
I don't care. That ain't going to work.
Yeah, maybe not for you. I think for me, I might be interested.
Chill out, bro.
Off to a camera, I mean, how many times can you do that? Well, shit, we're
All right,
dying.
so imagine this: you got VR goggles on.
No, what you would have to
like,
do is you'd have to design a bodysuit that has pressurized cells that would make it virtual sex. You can't just have the virtual, visuals.
Right.
You have to have the virtual, everything, the full experience.
But I wonder. Okay, so this makes me wonder, and the daily like man to woman relationship. There's a constant struggle, no matter how you dissect it. I think some of the payoff to that is actually okay. We put our differences aside, or I've actually convinced you to let me have sex with you again, even though you're my wife. But no, it's not even like that. But it's like you deal with all the bad stuff, and then the good makes it that much good. I think it's not black and white. There's going to be a lot of gray area. For someone like me, I think I need the balance between the bad times and the good times, because if there was a sex robot just sitting there like every time I walk by it, why don't you fuck me? Why don't you fuck me? It would be like, shut up already,
You're talking about like a perspective from like you were born in the 80s, bro. Like you're talking about a generation that's alive now that's where like they grew up with like porn in the palm. Like they could access it, and they didn't have, and parents don't know how to like use their parental control on the TV or whatever computer. So what you have now is third graders having threesomes on afternoon.
Whoa! On Periscope.
No, you can look it up. No, you can look it up.
No, I'm not gonna look it up.
No, all right. Well, I'm just saying, man. The problem is like. Children or today's generations today, whatever, like Generation X or the millennials are gonna say mostly that they're desensitized.
They're used to be disconnected from human beings, anyways. So yeah.
So it's not gonna be some huge transition. And you know what? If you realize, like, it's been in movies and music and radio, and they're getting you used to the idea of being. Interacting with other, just robots and this non-sentient or whatever. I don't know. It's weird, man, but it's cool, but it's scary.
Darin, any final thoughts before we jump into some election stuff?
Screw robots. I need some chick to walk by, punch me in the face, and tell me how good it was. Dude, a freaking virtual reality is not going to be able to do that shit.
You might.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, I think it is, but so we can agree to disagree on that one. It's coming along. I hear that sex drives like half the internet bandwidth or whatever it is, porno sites. Especially them gay Muslims. They take up like 25%.
Stop it. You know what it is?
They die.
Mm-hmm. You know what it is we're mostly inspired as human beings by sex, or we're mostly inspired to action by that's the most influential feeling we ever have as human beings is that kind of feeling. And the thing is, we figured that out a long time ago, and so sex does sell. But the whole purpose is like when you can envision something and then you can bring it to fruition through your just by thinking about it so much, whatever, and that's what you input in yourself and that's what you're watching, then it becomes like this cycle of just perpetuating it. And
as humans, we still long for that skin to skin contact, that warm skin feeling. You can't get that from a fucking robot. You cannot get it from a robot.
No, never. But I mean, people are going to settle for it. It's like, do you want a home cooked meal or are you going to buy McDonald's? Convenience.
No, you know me. Don't talk about McDonald's. I thought we were. My wife's going to kill me. I got my lunchbox in the background. All kinds of shit on the counter.
Yeah.
She gets mad at me for that kind of stuff.
I bet she does.
That's kind of shit the robot can't do. She can't get pissed off at
you. No, you never watch the Jetsons. You watch the Jetsons.
Darin,
pissed off.
That's kind of shit I need. Hey, you dumbass, what'd you do that for? I don't know.
What was the robot's name on the Jetsons? Tim, you probably
Rosie.
Alice.
God, how do you know that stuff? I knew that you would know that. How did I know that you would know that? Rosie,
She used to flip her shit. Rosie used to be pissed off.
Oh my God, no one's gonna get this. No one is ever gonna get this, especially in France. Shout out to the couple France listeners that stay downloading the podcast. You are my inspiration at this point. Oh, and go check out the last one, Tim. If you haven't, and Darin, you might have I kind of broke down what it's going to take to get to Mars and humans on Mars. It's happening. Episode 24. That was the last one.
Man, that was a scam, bro.
It's not. It's going down. There's a couple different. You're trolling me right now, aren't you?
No, I'm messing with you.
Darin, we have an election going on. What's your current thought, if you got one in the chamber?
The current thought is I'm not too fond of Trump. He's a big government fool. He's phoning everybody into thinking he's a conservative. But 80% of his plans are decent. Maybe even 85% of his plans are decent. And Hillary Clinton is a fucking disaster. Straight up disaster, lying, crook. Everybody knows it. People defend her even though it's been the purposes.
Let's go back to Trump, because I'm starting to, I've had a love affair with him. Sometimes.
Really? How'd that go?
Well, he left me for Melania, so I don't even want to get into it.
I don't blame him. God.
We had the best sex ever. All right. So, like, at a certain point when I was so anti-Hillary, I was like, yeah, Trump. And then as we start getting closer and I start thinking about him actually being president, it gets a little scary, because we know what kind of presidency that we're headed for if Hillary gets elected. Just the usual run-of-the-muck corruption, like everything's pretty much fucked up, kind of going along the same long lines as they are right now. I mean, the lobbyists, the corporations are going to win. The middle class is going to shrink at the same rate. All this stuff is going to happen. But with Trump, it's kind of like I'm having a hard time getting a grasp on what his presidency is going to look like in the White House. Is it going to be this just fucking flying train wreck? And the most optimistic view that you can get is that he's going to use his crazy antics to get elected, and then he's going to surround himself with like the best fucking people possible and listen to them, and then, kind of get some stuff on a conservative side done. But the other scarier, even more scarier than the Hillary Clinton part of that is that he appears to be like a balloon that you blow up and you don't tie off, and then you just let it go. Because I like some of the stuff that he says, but then some of the stuff that his ass has to catch up with his mouth when he starts going off on a tangent, and he's not really prepared to finish his thought or his ideas. It circles back around and starts explaining some of the bullshit that he was just saying before. I mean, it gets kind of scary. And so, you got to admit, he kind of runs off on a tangent sometimes. He's not.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. 100%.
Really.
The guy's a shitty. He's a shitty public speaker. He doesn't have the experience. My thing with Trump is I don't agree with all of this stuff, like this whole new his big government. What's that new thing he did on to pander to the women voters? Maternity leave, 6-week maternity leave, tacked on to unemployment. Sorry, unemployment's broke with $20 trillion in debt. That's nothing but a big government thing to me. But that's the liberal in him coming out. But the thing is with Trump, all the key issues, in my opinion, he's good on. With Hillary, we know. we know we're going to get shit. We know we're going to get like literally just, if you vote for her, pretty much you're looking at, hey, just go ahead and throw feces on my face. Yeah, and I know it's coming. Yeah. Trump, we don't know. I think that's better. I mean, he is a little unhinged when he comes off because he's not that great of a public speaker, and he kind of puts his foot in his mouth sometimes. But on a general public level, most people don't talk all, you know, and all use all these super words. He's more of a down-to-earth, I would say, person that doesn't speak the way a normal politician does.
Right.
And that's kind of his attraction, because it would be like, you know, me and you having a conversation and whatever versus, you know, all this political talk in there.
Totally agree. Yeah.
And that's his main.
I lose friends every day on Facebook because of the way I talk.
Oh, I don't care. Fuck them.
Yeah, me either.
This is my belief. This is what I'm at. If you don't like it, unfollow, delete, remove, whatever.
Well, I get a little sad, a little bit.
And if you're going to come at me, you better be prepared to come back. And if you can't handle it, don't cry about it.
Well, I go at people and I exhaust them, I think. But anyways, go ahead, finish your thought.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's some real big key big government issues that don't sit well with me as Trump, because I'm a conservative. And there's a big difference between a conservative and a Republican.
True.
I'm all, everything that I think of is small government. We have a big problem. We have a big spending problem. That stuff needs to be stopped. And here Trump is adding in, oh, I'm going to do this maternity leave. I'm sorry, I don't need to pay for your maternity leave. You're female, and your partner or whatever, vice versa. You made the conscious decision to have a child. That is your responsibility to pay for it. Nobody else's, yours. Well, companies don't give maternity leave. Well, that's fine. That was also your responsibility before you signed up and signed the dotted line and said, yes, I agree to your terms, knowing that they didn't provide that. That was it's your job to save and prepare for that if you want a child. Nobody else's responsibility. And if you didn't negotiate your terms of working, well, then that's on you. That's your responsibility. But he's adding in onto an already broke unemployment system when we're $20 trillion in debt, and that's going to do nothing but increase it. He's open to minimum wage. If you're a true conservative free market capitalist, you're not open to minimum wage. Frankly, to be done with it, there should be zero minimum wage. People are smart enough to determine, hey, yeah, I'll work for a quarter. Hey, yeah, I'll work for $100 an hour. That's on them to make that decision. And with free market capitalism on the minimum wage, you can't mandate employers to pay more money they don't have. If they don't have that money, they're going to cut people. And that puts more people out of work, and then that just drives the country down. That's just the way it is. And then everybody says, oh, what about the low-paying jobs and this, that, and the other? What about them? You're not supposed to be making $110 an hour working at McDonald's. You're supposed to be learning how to go to drunk, come into work with a hangover how many times before you get fired, and learn from your mistakes. It's what it is. It's for kids. And the people that come around and, oh, well, I got 5 kids. What the fuck are you doing with 5 kids working at McDonald's? What went through your head when you decided to make that choice?
It's great. Go ahead.
But the big thing with me with Trump is, we have a very, very, right now what's going on with the police, and everybody going, oh, the police. Oh, murdering. Not a one of them can define the word murder when you ask them about it. Not a one of them can tell you that for sure this is a thought out, oh, the cop just woke up one day, I'm going to go kill a black person, or I'm going to go kill some kind of minority because that's my goal for the day. No, there's always something. There's always a gun. There's always some violence. There's always some drugs. There's always something.
Well, let me just say, first off, like I've said in the chat, that if you are resisting arrest in today's world, if you're resisting anything, that's not a smart move.
Nope.
It's not smart to do that, because you could probably get shot and killed, or at the very least, your ass fucking kicked. Because of everything that has happened, and then including people shooting cops now, targeting cops, and in these poor areas where they're looting and committing violent acts, it doesn't help their cause for them asking for the police to stop being so violent when on their end they're not. And again, I'm not black. I don't know what it's like. I don't know. And just let me, I'm going to circle back around to everything. I don't know what it's like. And neither do you, Darin. So you can't pretend that you do what you know what it's like to be a black person in America, because we don't. It could be very different. They don't know what it's like to be a white dude in Buena Park when you're at a restaurant full of Mexicans. It's similar. It's not the same. Nothing is the same. Going back to the police violence, a lot of the times in those videos, they are not following the officer's directions. Okay, so that's bad. But should we live in a police state where we have to just a cop can pull up on you and start giving you orders, and you just have to follow everything that they fucking say, or else you're going to be shot? No, that is very bad. Also, that is fucking bad.
Absolutely.
And so I will circle back around to every situation is different. I think that there's a line. I don't know where the line is where a cop should be allowed to shoot another human being and kill them. I think there should be a gun involved on the other side. And this is why they're rioting. This is why they're so upset, is because the cops can just freely shoot people. And that is not cool. It's not fucking cool at all. So in today's age, if you're not compliant with a cop and then you get shot, so now let's focus on the cops. Why are they just shooting people?
They're not.
But they kind of just, they are. I mean, you can't deny that they're not shooting people, because they are.
So these recent cases, the cops just got out and started opening fire just because?
It's happened. I'm not saying that in the past 2 weeks that has been the case, because and these last couple ones are under a microscope right now, and there's no definite answer on either side. You can say that one thing happened and then another thing happened, but in reality, we don't fucking know, because there's no solid video evidence. Not like, all right, I'll go ahead with your piece.
Some people say it happens. I just want one person to give me one. I'm not asking for several. One example to where they know a cop to get out and just shoot somebody. Just one.
Walter Scott, and I have it written down here for that purpose.
Walter Scott, the guy that was running away, was at South or North Carolina?
It was
got shot in the back.
North Carolina.
Got shot in the back. And what's the verdict on that?
I think that guy was being charged for murder.
Uh-huh.
But kudos to you for shout out to Darin for knowing that. So yeah, but there's got to be other case. There's plenty of other cases where that happens. So
you got one that you're prepared for, and yet I already knew which one you were going for, because that's the only one that I can think of in the last 20 or 30 years that I've ever read about. And the guy's up on charge and getting charged for murder right now.
Well, the Alton Sterling, I mean, he did have a gun. Was he going for it? We don't know. He got shot before we had time to find out.
The guy with the extensive record that was reaching in his pocket that had an illegal firearm in a vehicle. What did he do? What was he doing with an illegal firearm?
Okay, well,
what was he reaching in his pocket for when a cop?
What I've heard from third-party testimony about being in combat and being in gunfire and combat situations, or being a cop, having your gun drawn on someone, is that you have a lot of time to decide whether you're going to shoot. You could almost get to the point where the guy is getting ready to take the gun out of his pocket, and at the time that it takes for him to reach from normal position to grabbing gun to taking it out of pocket is a lifetime in the world of having a gun pointed at someone getting ready to shoot.
You do know you can shoot a gun from your pocket, right? That's not a lot of time. You put your finger on that arm anywhere near that, boom, dead. 27.
But not the way that most people
can't even blink.
Especially most of the crazy thugs, they carry their guns like in their belt line, not in a holster like in the Midwest. Or
they carry them everywhere, man. There's chicks. People carry guns in their asshole.
Are you telling me you're related to Doc Holliday? Just get the F out right now.
No. He's got 2 L's. I got 1.
Oh, all right. God damn it. That'd be cool if you were.
Right. But that's the thing though with firearms is these officers deal with criminals. They're not coming up with people that want to give them a bouquet of flowers for giving them a speeding ticket or whatever. It's the cop's job to figure out what you're doing wrong. It's the cop's job to figure out what kind of dope you got in the car in case you're high and you're running around putting everybody else at risk. He's going to ask you questions, black, white, whatever. There's a reason I pulled you over. You had a broken taillight. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You rolled down the window and yes, I smelled beer. Yes, I smelled weed. Let me ask you some questions. Then it explodes and they get all pissed off. But you have to think about these officers, these people, these criminals. We're not talking about everyday Joe that accidentally run a stop sign or this, that, and the other. They get that all day long. But when they get on calls or they find people that are actually of suspicion, like this one, what was that in Charlotte? Here you are, the police. Later it comes out that this guy, and we just had the video drop today, the wife is yelling, "Don't do it, Keith. Don't do it, Keith. Don't do it, Keith." This is the video from her cell phone, not the police, her cell phone that she recorded. She's yelling at him. And then you hear the police drop the gun, yelling over and over again, and he ends up dead. And yet all these people are running around protesting, and they're not even protesting, they're rioting. Yet they've already convicted the officer. We won't say that the officer was black or the police chief was black, but people don't know that. Why? Because they're not seeing it on TV and they're running around like sheep rioting. But the person that shot him was black. The police chief was black. And then here it is, the brother of the victim saying, white people are the devils, blah, 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 going out and doing these riots. Didn't even think to get the facts straight. Just came out and said it. And now here you are, you got a whole town on fire under false pretenses because these jackasses are allowed on TV and these people run around saying all this stuff. It's wrong. It's causing chaos. And the Obama administration is using that to her advantage. Ruling by chaos. And it's working.
And so is the media. I mean,
they're just
the media doesn't report on the young white man that gets shot by cops. But the media will report on the young black man that gets shot by cops because it's going to garner more attention in the clickbait internet world that we live in right now. And that's all that matters.
Money.
And what about the guy in Fullerton that got beat to death by the cops? I mean, literally beaten to death. I forget that guy's name, but to me is like the gross. He was a homeless white guy. He had mental problems, which mental problems probably can sum up a lot of the victims of police brutality. I think half of them, at least half. Yep. They have some kind of mental problem. They can't comply, and they get shot. So that brings back to better training. Look, I know some dudes in the MMA scene that if they were a cop, and even if the guy had a gun, they got their arms around that person. They ain't getting shot. The person's not dying. Everyone goes home or goes to jail with their heart beating. Okay? The guy goes back to his family. What I'm saying, for what cops need, is that if you're a cop, you need to be at a blue belt level of jiu-jitsu, year one high school wrestler, so that if you get into these intense situations, and that's not including gun-to-gun combat or whatever, because there's a lot of these situations where, and I've seen the videos where there's a struggle, and then the cops' only resort is to shoot the person because they feel like they're going to go for their gun and they're not going to see their daughter Elizabeth when they go home tonight. And so they're thinking, oh, my wife, my daughter, I got to kill this dude so I can make it home. And that's what they don't want to kill they don't want to kill the dude. They're doing it because it's a crazy reaction to the circumstance that they're faced with that they don't have the proper tools to deal with. So if they were a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and I'm not saying that when they leave the police academy, they have to have that blue belt. I'm saying that they need to be in training, hand-to-hand, some judo, something, so that they don't have to grab something on their belt. That they're supposed to be better than a citizen. Okay, what's a normal citizen? Me, I cannot be considered a normal citizen because I kind of know how to wrestle and I kind of know how to do submissions. Okay, I'm not a normal citizen now. So if a cop wrestles with me, I have an advantage because I've been trained in a little bit at least. Okay, I want the cop. So if I'm trying to do something to someone and the cop is trying to prevent me from doing it, they better be more trained than I am as just like a year one dude in wrestling and jiu-jitsu. And if not, then you're going to look foolish. And this is how people get killed, is that they're not properly trained.
Right.
And they're emotionally unstable. And what they do is they go through a 6-week sabbatical from their normal life, and it's not even a boot camp, and then they give them a gun, and they put them on the street, and they say, here's the worst of America, go fucking figure it out. And that's how people die, okay? And that's my biggest gripe is the training. They need to be better trained.
They need a psycho evaluation.
Hold on, Darin, I think Darin was prepared. I cut him off a couple times.
Well, here's two things I was thinking about. I get your whole your hand-to-hand combat thing, and some kind of special training to at least have a minimum. I get that, but that hand-to-hand combat doesn't do shit when the guy's 30 feet away with a gun.
Right.
You can get up and
at that point, if there's a gun visible, then yeah. Yep.
And the other example is that I was going to say about your hand-to-hand combat. Let's use Eric Garner, for example, the guy that died, and they turned around and made all this stuff. Now you're using your hand-to-hand combat. Now you have cops in there. Liberal policies, by the way, they created the black market for cigarettes. I'll leave it there. But so these guys are subduing this dude with their hand-to-hand, and they take him down, and he's saying, "Oh, I can't breathe. I can't breathe." I don't know how you talk when you.
Well, you know what?
And the man died.
I'm just going to totally off the bat disagree with the Eric Gardner. I feel like that falls into, and then prove me wrong if you want to. From what I saw, I'll make it short. Cop was asking him to not sell cigarettes, loose cigarettes or whatever, and then the cop attacked him. Let's not get it wrong. I don't care what Eric Gardner was saying to him. The cop attacked him, put a super obese man into one of the chokes that I know, and with someone with respiratory and heart problems, like if I got my arms around Eric Gardner too, and I squeezed that hard, he probably, it's such a tight choke. You have no idea until you're in it. It's unnecessary, and that choke was supposed to be banned in New York City, where there's millions of people walking around doing whatever, and then he kind of picks Eric Gardner out.
Well, here's the thing, though.
So, all right.
You want these people to be trained, yet the very weapons that you want them to be trained with certain holds and guards are banned.
Well, I don't feel like Eric Gardner should have got a ticket, and the cop should have been on his way. Why did he shoot in on him and take him down?
Mr. Garner was resisting arrest. They were putting him under arrest. He had been previously arrested 31 times for selling cigarettes. To me, hey, he sold a cigarette. I don't see that as a big crime. I know why the crime is there.
It's not a I'm going to choke your fucking neck offense, even if you've done it 50 times, in my opinion.
You're right. But this guy had been arrested 31 times. He figured he'd know the deal. all right, hey, you guys got me again. Take me in. I'll go spend my night, my day. I'll go see the.
I don't, because maybe put yourself in Eric Gardner's shoes. This is my only one hustle in a place filled of millions of people. This is the only way I can get by, and I'm going to keep doing it because it's a stupid law anyways. I mean,
it is a stupid law. I'm not going to take it.
Isn't it a stupid law? So, like...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What the F? What the F? So,
okay, 100% agree.
And
I personally don't have a problem.
He should have... Maybe the cop got frustrated with him, but... do you even know what happened at the end of that one? Did that cop get charged for anything?
No.
See, so that's where I draw the line. So there's a
but it was dropped.
It was dropped?
Yeah.
That cop should have got something, in my opinion. Like I said, there's this metaphysical line that I draw, and everything's a case-by-case basis. And until I know all the facts that I can know just by Google, how else am I supposed to base an opinion off of? I wasn't there. So selling loose cigarettes happened multiple times. Does he give him a ticket? Go on your way. No.
At that point, there wasn't a ticket. He had been served 31 times prior, and he had warrants out for not going to the last one.
Well, maybe sometimes it's time to just keep walking if you're a street cop like that.
No. The cops, we live in a constitutional republic. We live by a rule of law. If we do not have law and people are not punished for those laws, we have chaos. Look at Charlotte.
Well, I wonder if that same cop that choked Eric Gardner out to death, every time he walks by somebody disobeying a law, if he has that same gripe towards everyone, then he's cool. If he singled Eric Gardner out because he's black, because he's big, because he has a big mouth on him, then that's wrong.
It's coming down to like something you can't really, it's like, this is like degrees of the psyche. That's why I said that you need a psychiatric evaluation to be someone who's going to make a snap judgment on whether someone is going to get beat up or if they're going to get killed. And if you're not doing more than, it's not just a physical training. It's mostly making sure you are apt and ready to and you are aware and you are ready to serve and protect, as opposed to be a prick or fucking abuse the power you've been given. We're all tempted to abuse power in any position. We're born that way. If you're a kid ever, you know that if you ever been given a little bit of freedom, you'll abuse your responsibility. But here's the issue. Now it's in front of everyone. Now everyone watching. It's on the news. It's getting public. It's getting notoriety across the world. We're all about it across the world. So, are we going to be the type of country that's going to be okay? Let's get super upset at this guy who's just he's just a football player. He's not no political leader. He's not he's just a fucking quarterback. Are you going to get mad at him protesting more than you're going to get mad at the fact that we have a system that's not going to stop this?
I'm going to be equally mad at both of them.
I don't even, the fact that you have the right to have an opinion to say something is what makes it beautiful.
You're right.
My opinion. I told Travis earlier, I walked into a bar earlier today and the guys on stage had a Confederate flag up, and it's it's the whole half of the bar is plastered with Confederate flags, and it says, if the South would have won, and I just drank my whiskey, I had my beer, and I left.
Nobody bothered.
But you know what? But nobody bothered me. Nobody tried to string me up to a tree. It is what it is. You have a right to believe what you want. You can live your life, but don't fuck with me. Don't step on my beliefs. Don't come on my porch talking your shit. Don't try. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's it. That's all it is.
And you should have a right to not like anyone for any reason that it is.
Yeah,
keep it to yourself.
Whatever. Yeah, that's.
Don't try to spread that kind of hate.
Yeah, you have a right to speak your mind. You have a right to gather. You have a right to be a group. You have a right to whatever. But you don't have a right to infringe on someone else's rights just because that's what you believe. Just because that's the way you want to live. That's fine. Do your thing. But you don't have a right to subject someone else to your beliefs.
Correct. And
100%.
that's why we live in a free world, baby. Or we do, at least.
You mentioned the football stars, and I'll touch on this real quick with that whole Kaepernick deal. You know, he make us freedom of speech, this, that, and the other. But kneeling during the national anthem is just wrong.
Darin, take it away. I got to pee. I'll be right back, okay? I know you're going on a tangent right now.
TMI, bro. TMI.
You know, he wants to make a political statement. Okay, I get it, but not the national anthem. The national anthem has zero to do with politics, with Trump, with Hillary, with anything. That was written by a person in dedication to men and women who have served the country. Period. Nothing else. And him, I thought that was just wrong. Now, people have their different opinions on that. So it's not really an opinion. That's just flat out. The dude is wrong.
I feel like, you know what? I don't feel whether it's like, in my opinion, in this country, it's like if that's your podium, if that's where you can make noise or have a voice, then use it. And if you can reach someone else who's going to have a voice or opinion that's going to bring it towards like whatever it is that's what is actually right, then that's fine. But I mean, like I said, the amendment is there for you to have a right to speak that point or say that without being like persecuted or made to feel like you don't have a voice. So, I mean, they're rioting. He's not going out there like that guy in Texas and shooting other police or like trying to like do that. That's wrong. That's wrong. Like if you have something to say and you're objecting to like you love your country, that's fine. You can be a patriot without agreeing with what's going on or saying like, this is all I can do to object to what's happening. This is my only voice to say it. And I agree with you that it's disrespectful because it's disrespectful to the people who died, who went that much further with their patriotism and were willing to die for their country. But the way the media is spinning it is that it's like, okay, well, crucify San Francisco guy, but at the same time, let's not address the fact that nothing really is being done about what's happening and why he's doing it.
Yeah, he said he was doing it because he's getting oppressed, right?
Oh, man, I can't even, I haven't really watched a lot, but I'm just saying in terms of what I've read in the articles, what I've seen on the news and the local news is that he's not trying to disrespect America, just that he wants to say something and that it's not right what's going on. But, I mean...
Yeah, his big thing was oppression, and it's tough talking about oppression with a $116 million contract with microphones and cameras in your face all the time, allowing somebody the ability to do that.
Oh, it could be all a scheme or an angle. Like, no, he's definitely not struggling. I'm not saying that. Like you're definitely privileged amongst a lot of people, but that's the point. If you ever forgotten where you come from, if you're the pauper to prince, then you're gonna need to like remember where you come from. Like even if you like ever get out of the hood, or even if you ever whatever, you need to say something about what's going on. And even if it costs you, if people want to burn your jersey and it costs you your whole like, if it costs you endorsements, if it costs you whatever it is, like to me that says something. That says something that you believe strong.
And that's what irks me, especially about Kaepernick, because when you dig into him and you start doing a little background on him, you look at Kaepernick and what he's doing, talking about oppression amongst blacks and yada yada. That's why he's making this stand. But then you dig deeper. His father gone right off the bat. Mom's pregnant.
Right.
Father ditched him. Black father. Mom gave him up for adoption. Okay, hey, I'm cool with that, man. You know, you didn't have an abortion. That's great. Awesome. You gave him somebody else that would love him. The family that adopted him was a white couple. Raised him, did this, did that. And then here he is with all this money and put through college and this, that, and the other, blaming white people for oppression. That drives me fucking nuts.
But again, it's like, you know what? If again, it's like the whole Clarence Thomas affirmative action argument. Whereas it's like, yeah, you may have grown up in a privileged situation, but if you're going to have that opinion about it and forget where you came from, then it's like, okay, what was it all for?
Right.
Like, okay, I have to admit, his fro looks a little funny. But
he's one hell of an intellectual man. That guy is awesome.
No. I don't. Like I said, I don't want to pretend like I've read all the stats. I know his standpoint altogether. I just feel like in the midst of the turmoil of what's happening in the country, why are people running out in the streets? Why? Is it because of no reason at all? Is it a reason for anyone to be upset? Is it a reason for anyone to say anything about it? I believe there is. I believe there should be something said about it. I believe extreme action needs to be taken, not to the point to where you're resisting arrest and you're resisting the law. I don't believe in anarchy. I don't believe in overthrowing the country. I don't believe in I do believe in civilization and government and all that. But at the same time, if the system isn't working, then the majority, a majority of one, as long as it's in the right.
What specifically isn't working?
In my opinion, is right now the way things are being governed, as well as the way law enforcement are handling things, is not going right. I think that you should be able to, serve the people and protect the people, and still be able to punish the people who are, disobeying the law, without having these many casualties so often, without having this carelessness happening, without so much funny stuff happening around it. Oh, this person's camera got unplugged. Or this person, there was no audio to the situation. Or it's fine. But at the same time, it's so prevalent that you can't ignore it, man. You can't sit there and act as though that it's okay, or shrug it off, or say, oh, it's just as important as a football player. I don't really care what he gets paid. Someone died, man.
Yeah, I agree with you for the most part. When it's kind of Travis mentioned, what's his name? Was it that guy out of North or South Carolina that got shot in the back?
Walter Scott.
That one, dude was running away. That seems legit to me. He got shot in the back. As far as I'm concerned, that cop should be thrown to the wall. I mean, I don't know everything on it, but the way it looks and the video, the dude running away, there's stories about him stealing the...
They threw that lady cop to the wolves. I don't remember her name.
Hold on, Tim. Let him finish.
They threw... There's rumors or whatever the cop story is. He stole my taser, yada, yada. He's going to run off and either come at me or possibly a danger to society, so I shot him. I don't care. You're in a park. There's not anybody in immediate danger. You shot him in the back. You should have at least chased him for a little bit until the dude ran out of breath, tripped or whatever, or you pulled that thing on somebody else.
Right. Yeah. Agreed.
And from where I'm at right now and what I see with that coach, that white cop should be fried. Should be locked up. I don't know the gist of it, but that's what I'm seeing as of right now. Who knows when the trial's actually finished?
Right.
But when I see people jump up to conclusions, like what's going on with Charlotte and what's come out since with the video and stuff, it's like, oh crap, these people are going around destroying their stuff because they jump to conclusions because they were told to, not because they sat back and waited to actually think, oh, hey, this could have happened. Oh my God. And now that the video's out, they're still out there doing it. Nobody's listening or watching or paying attention. They don't care. That's what... Oh. I don't get it.
I'm trying my best to make it out, but it's like my phone's so shitty, dude. I'm getting you though.
What are you doing? You're breaking bags of ice over there?
I'm actually grilling right now, man. I'm over here midnight grilling illegally. It's like 12:30 in the morning, and they were told us we can't grill, but I don't give a shit.
Oh, because of curfew?
I'm over here with my yakitori grill doing some pork chops on the third floor. What
do you mean you can't grill? You can't grill via apartment rules?
Yeah, the apartment rules is they're saying you can't grill on the balcony, but it's the tabletop grill. It's not like a full half barrel, there's nothing going on, man. I'm not gonna burn down this bitch.
It's nothing like that we used to do, right? Hey, my man Tim can grill some shit. He taught me a couple lessons. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah, because I know that they have the I don't know, is the curfew been implemented there throughout the entire state or just Charlotte?
Oh, just Charlotte. It's only like a state of emergency in Charlotte. I don't even know if it's still active.
I think it is. They got the National Guard and all that stuff on the ground over there still.
So tell me this: if you're in Charlotte and you're transgender, you identify as a woman, can you grill at downtown after 12 with a goatee and high heels and pumps?
No.
I'll tell you what. You're the only motherfucker that's safe.
You're just safe from some Black Lives Matter. You're safe from the racist white people, from the cops. You are not a threat to anybody. If you have a goatee in North Carolina right now, you're about the safest person that you can be.
Yes.
You know what? That should be the head of the Black Lives Matter movement because they will never get shot. They can go wherever they want and pump.
Well, that's you know what? Whatever the platform is, Hillary, Trump, black, white, whatever it is. What I've learned is that people themselves. Too many people are selfish, bro. Like you have your own agenda. You always have your own agenda. And that's a problem for me. Like if you're really a person for the community, if you're really a citizen, if you're really a patriot, then you think about other people other than yourself. That will be clear to me when I meet you. That will be clear to me when I shake your hand. That will be clear to me when you say the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't even know, man. I have a problem with people who hide behind civility and try to push it off as, you know what, it's a free country, Yeah, it's a free country, but at the same time, we only have so much space, Tim,
I have to admit to you that I've been catching a lot of flack on social media lately. My black friends, they don't like what I have to say to them. And this is the problem, is that this is why I wanted to start the podcast, and I invite every single one of them to come on and let's have a discussion. It's not like I'm going to come on and debate you because you're wrong and racism doesn't exist. And I openly say that it does exist, and everything that they talk about does exist to a certain extent, but not to the extent that they want to go on. And I'm getting blocked more than a Black Lives Matter highway protest.
Really?
But some people, yeah, I'm getting blocked. I'm getting cut.
Like you out of the whole organization.
You know what it is, bro? I exhaust people because I don't quit, and it's not even like a you're wrong thing. It's like there's another argument. I'm not trying to prove you're wrong. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. And when you talk about race issues, you're automatically racist then. It's crazy.
You know what it is, though? Like, what it is ignorance. Is because, again, it's racist in itself means you're more of you're like the ist means you're a professional at whatever that is. Like if I'm a piano player and I'm a pianist, I'm a professional. Like if I'm
where the hell did you make that up? Did you hear that or did you make that up?
Look it up if you want.
That sounds like a Tim thought to me.
I know it does because it's old, but it's true. Education, man. Education. If you're not ignorant, you can talk to other people and you can relate to other people and you can understand and you will also try to listen. But if you're not, then you're only going to hear what you want to hear and you're only going to say your own perspective.
Well, hold on. Let me pause you for a second, because if a racist is a professional on race and he doesn't like black people, does he have a point? If he's a professional racist? I mean, I'm failing to understand maybe where that's going.
I'm saying that the general understanding of the word is not really what it means. What most people understand racist to be means that you are biased in your opinion about other people based on their skin color or their, where they originate from. But verbally or technically is that you are educated about race or your race.
Okay. I was having someone keep bringing up the letters that Martin Luther King had written when he got in jail in Birmingham and his orders or whatever, and how it kind of ties into today. Do you have anything to say about that, or are you unfamiliar with his letters from jail?
You know what? I actually, I was actually pretty on point with all my Martin Luther stuff. I mean, I had done a monologue and read a few books of his, and I was familiar with a lot of his letters from jail. But ideology, I mean, even if I was singing that Michael Jackson song, I don't want to say it that they don't really care about us. It's like, if Martin Luther was living. The thing is, even if Martin Luther King was living, even if Rosa Parks was living, the whole thing is again, we're desensitized. We don't really care about other people's problems. It doesn't really hit home until it's on your front porch. And so you can't get people to relate to your problem until you get worldwide media, until it's trending on Twitter. It's not a thing until it doesn't exist until then. And the truth of the matter is your opinion and that person's opinions is it creates this ambiguity that everyone wants to say that they're right, but no one is. I think that everybody has something wrong about their opinion, but no one's willing to be patient enough to talk long enough to be peaceful enough and non-confrontational and non-violent enough to get to a point to where we figure it out, to where we could finally find a way to coexist on this planet and be able to get along and live life. But the point is we're running out of water, we're running out of space, we're running out of food. We can't even grow anymore in this country. They're trying to have farms.
That could be argued.
Well, no, it can't be argued. Math is absolute, and so it can be argued. There's only so many cubic square meters and miles in this country, and you can only grow so much food and crops from so much land. And hold
on. Let's go back to what you were talking about. Because you just jumped onto, interplanetary.
It's always that. No, that's my whole point. I mean, I figure I don't mean to sound as though I'm being, just jumping from topic to topic or just whatever. But I'm just saying, if you get to the root of everything, if I'm a racist, right? If I'm a racist and I'm gonna say, I can be racist at times. I'll make racist jokes. I'll laugh at racist jokes every now and then. If I'm truly honest about myself, but not everybody will admit that. Right? And so the thing is, it's we grew up from where we come from. So your black friends are mad at you because you come from somewhere else and your opinion doesn't match where they come from. They can't relate to you. And now they don't know who you are. But the truth is, if you really care about someone and you care about their opinion and you want to know where they come from, then you have to be patient and you have to get to know them. And why are they saying that? What makes them feel that way?
I catch flack for criticizing. And I told Darin earlier, I don't know what it's like to be a black person in America. I don't want to pretend to. But I can speculate a little bit. Am I wrong for speculating that I don't know what the struggle is? And I'm not Hitler. I've never owned a slave. I've never called a black person an N-word, but still I get put in this category because I have an unpopular opinion. And so these Facebook discussions, these Facebook threads, in my eyes, they don't do any good. All they do is wrong. And I am guilty as fucking charged because I fall into all of it. When I see a meme that starts with white people and then it's negative, I'm like, all right, hold up. I don't believe that. That's not true. That's exaggerated. So I'm going to go into that thread and be like, hold up real quick. What you just said right there, I don't like, and here's why. And then all of a sudden, 10, 15 posts later, and I don't have Facebook notifications linked up on my ding or whatever it's called. I do my Facebook on my own time because I felt like it was controlling my life. at a certain point, like you hear that ding and you're like, oh, your adrenaline starts pumping. And you know, that's not the way that these conversations need to happen. And I feel like that it's going down with some people, and they've blocked me now, and, you know, fucking God bless them. I'm not mad at them. And at some point, maybe I was trolling them because they made me a little emotional too. But the problem is that I feel like there's, we lost him. Good Lord.
They blocked you?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I've been blocked by more.
Totally openly minded, tolerant, liberal to me.
I've been blocked by more people than a highway and during a Black Lives Matter protest.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, and I just always look at them, and then I point out the fact and say, so openly tolerant, open-minded and tolerant of a liberal to block me.
And they try and somehow spin it. They don't try and argue ideas. They argue that what you're thinking is not right. And in a school of ideas, trying to argue that someone's not right because they haven't experienced your experience is simply flawed logic on its face, because now you have emotion tied into it. And when you mix emotion with arguments, you get flawed fucking ideas.
It's liberal logic. I am the only one that matters. Your opinion means shit. You will do what I say. I shall dictate whether you can speak or not.
Exactly.
That's the liberal truth.
And what? Oh, I was kind of worried about mixing you and Tim, but I think it actually went really fucking good.
Why?
We are to a closing point.
Tim seems very
I don't know. Yeah, I just thought that, and this is me overthinking it, that have a very precise way of communicating, and Tim is kind of like abstract, in which there's nothing wrong with either one of them. I just thought it would create like a communication problem, but I think that we were all communicating beautifully. I think it went really good.
Yeah.
Do you get kind of what I'm saying? Because, Tim's he's an artist. He's a fucking artsy-fartsy dude. Yeah. So am I, kind of. But
that seems a cool guy to me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, we got to do
a couple of his hints of capitalism and this, that, and the other that I just kind of went in. But
well,
I didn't challenge him on it.
We didn't get. We just scratched the surface, I think, a little bit. And honestly, he's one of my best friends. He's one of the humans that I love the most in the whole entire fucking world.
He may be a little bit more liberal, but he seems one of the rare. How do I say this?
Logical or
logical ones about it. I mean, I'm sure I'm a conservative and thinking liberal. I'm not going to agree on everything he says. Reasonable, logical, but he's not one that freaks out and gets all.
No, and I don't want everyone to agree on everything.
No, absolutely not. That would wouldn't be much of a discussion.
No, it'd just be a bunch of ball washing.
Yeah.
All right, now that he's gone, let me read this North Korea article. We'll spend a couple minutes on it and get the hell out of here, because I think we'll leave the next one, or the next topic for the next podcast. Muslims in America. I have to keep it under 2 hours just for technological reasons.
This is North Korea? Writing something about Muslims in America?
No. So next episode, we will get to Muslims in America. We didn't get a chance to do that tonight because we talked about so much other fun stuff. So why would I need to enforce that topic into tonight, where I felt like naturally I didn't even need any of my notes. We just kind of flowed through it. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. All right. So
I want a piece of Tim's steak or whatever the hell he was brewing up.
Dude, he's a good cook.
Yeah.
I lived with him twice. Yeah.
He's got to be a good cook, dude. His department rule says You can't use a grill, and here he is up on the third floor saying, "Fuck it, midnight grilling."
Right?
He's got to be a good cook,
dude. Yeah, he's a very driven man. All right, wrapping it up. Let's just do some North Korea. What the hell is going on in North Korea?
I don't know. All the lights are out, so I'd say absolutely nothing.
Well, Darin, let me tell you. North Korea hosts its first ever air show. So you know what an air show is, right?
They have planes that fly in North Korea?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, fuck it. Go figure. Check it out. This weekend, North Korea is hosting its first ever air show, which would involve both civilian and military aircraft. They've got some fucking some aircraft that, military, whatever. The air show is to take part on this weekend at the Kalma International Airport in the eastern port of Wonsan. The airport is dual civilian and military use and has been recently reconstructed to serve as the gateway for the Mount Kumgang tourist zone, which is one of North Korea's primary international tourism attractions.
Wait a second here.
Yeah, that's why I paused.
This is North Korea?
They have tourism attractions.
And international airports?
All right, Darin, you have some homework. You got to book us a flight to North Korea.
Yeah.
It's got to take off out of Bakersfield Airport.
Yeah, I got to find all that to work. They have the tarmac or the ability to, or the government that allows international airports in their vicinity there.
Darin,
but it's an interesting article.
Darin, I hear that you are a man that can make shit happen. So, there you go. We can ride like a fucking dune buggy to North Korea somehow.
Hey, we'll figure it out, dude. I'll make that fucker float.
All right. The show itself will demonstrate planes of North Korea's only airline, Air Koryo, which has a fleet of aging Soviet-made. Oh, here we go to the comedy. Soviet-made Antonov, Elysian, and Tupolev planes that airline wants to purchase modern aircraft, which would not be banned from banned flying zones over the European Union due to noise pollution. North Korea military pilots are to fly MiG and Su fighters jets as a part of the festival. The event is also to include parachuting performances, a charity lottery organized by the International Red Cross, and a host of cultural events like traditional folk, beer festival, blah, blah, blah. So, hey, maybe they're trying to integrate. Pyongyang's continued development of missiles and nuclear weapons resulted in heavy international sanctions, which restricted heavily its international trade. North Korea has a few sources of foreign currency, blah, blah, blah. Basically, yeah, this last paragraph tells them that they ain't about shit, but they might be trying to integrate into the world culture by having an air show. I mean, isn't that like kind of an American thing to do?
Pretty much. What's sparking my interest is the fact that it's probably all a bunch of bullshit. They might have some planes, but what sparked my interest the most is Russia's planes. What's Russia doing?
Their only airline, Air Koryo, which has a fleet of aging Soviet-made fucking different types of planes. So basically, we can chop this up to when was America's first air show with the Wright brothers or wherever it was? Fucking when was America's first military air show? And we can say that North Korea is about at the same level.
I wouldn't even say they're even there yet. I would be shocked if these planes even fly.
Oh man, could you imagine?
I'm serious. North Korea. What kind of education or what do they have over there where people can they know how to fly planes? unless they bring somebody in and rent somebody, and Kim Jong, or no, not Kim Jong, that little 4-foot dude says, "Oh, we're going to pay you to fly this plane for a minute."
Right. Well, I mean, they have connections with China, so.
China and Russia?
Yep. But, yeah, I don't know how much Russia would back them. And I think everything they do is a charade. The air show, I really don't think that they have any kind of refined nuclear capabilities unless they've been pooling every single resource into, diffusing nuclear energy or whatever it's called.
That's what they do.
And they've been buying secrets off of ISIS or Al Qaeda or, Muslims or whatever. Who else is going to give them that kind of, and then they don't even know. Pakistan, I don't know. I'm talking kind of out of my ass.
Their country is very poor. Their people are starving, and their leader is going around doing exactly what you said. He's in there investing all this money in nuclear bombs. He just tested one the other day. They're nothing in comparison to what the U.S. or China or Russia has. I mean, they're Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But the ones that we have now will absolutely dwarf those. But either way, it's still a huge threat. Not to us.
You really believe that North Korea warhead, that they've been able to refine plutonium to make it, or uranium? Yep. None of these words are coming natural to me. So you think that they're that far along?
Oh yeah, well they have the bombs. They're not like we have, but they have Nagasaki, Hiroshima style type bombs. When they split in atoms, and once you get that, that's when it was first done. And that's where they're at. They have it. They have the capability. They really can't kill anybody else. They can kill themselves. They have no means to transport it.
So no propulsion.
Right. I mean, they're messing around with these little missiles that go up a couple 100 yards in the air and they come down and fall down to the ground. But they've tested several nukes underground. Several.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. I always figured that what they were doing, and same thing kind of with Iran, except I thought Iran was a little further along than North Korea. I thought it was just a big game of charades. They're like, yeah, we've got nukes and we can fire them at any time that we want. But I thought that whole, we have nukes thing was a gimmick, and that they don't really have it.
No, they got them. They got them. They got them, sure.
Well, why haven't they fired it at South Korea then? That's they've been waiting to do that for fucking decades.
Because it's suicide. You take out South Korea, China. I mean, I understand China's got a little bit of backing to them for economic reasons, but China holds that whole region in check anyway. They do that.
And
China
you think that they're that rational to thought that they would be so irrational that as soon as they got a hold of a nuke that they would fire at South Korea just the same way that Iran, as soon as they got a hold of a nuke, which I thought they were actually further along than North Korea, but by my estimates, which don't mean anything, you're telling me North Korea is further along than Iran. Do you think Iran has one? Because if I thought Iran had one, they would immediately fire it at fucking Israel.
North Korea has them due to Bill Clinton's bill back in there, which allowed the path to nuclear bombs, which is the same kind of nuclear thing that we're going through with Iran right now and Obama. Democrat, two dictators getting nuclear bombs. Huh? Anyway, Clinton did the path to that, and he signed a bill, and it opened it up, and he worked with them, and then, 5 years later, they got a bomb. And they've been testing them ever since. But everything they do in that country has been put directly to their nuclear program. That's why everybody's starving. They don't have any fancy nukes. A nuke is a nuke, dude. You took that thing off in LA, Orange County, a large city, people are dead. Period. They can't get anywhere out their country. Maybe they can get one to South Korea, but the thing with South Korea is backed by the United States. We keep them in check over there. we have a military base right there, right on the north and south border. One of those missiles goes up in the air. We shoot it out of the sky. Well, let's say they shoot it out of the sky with our systems we protect them with. Kind of like the Israeli Iron Dome. Israel has that Iron Dome. That's what developed, yada, yada. And then we got the same thing over there in South Korea protecting them.
But you know what? Unfortunately, we are running out of time. But I want to revisit that one with you again, if we can.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Look up Bill Clinton's path to nuclear Korea.
Okay.
North Korea.
Yep, let's do that. I love international stuff. Any international stuff, I'm all about it. If it's interesting, obviously.
I read about it 2 or 3 years ago, and I can't give you an exact website, but it was from the Hill or something. It was a definitely decent, credible source, and it explained.
You know what? Absolutely, yeah. I want to. I mean, that's maybe the most important topic ever. Who's going to? I mean, could start World War III. Really important stuff. Yeah. Let's talk about it again because we're approaching the end of this one. But I'd love to talk about that.
I'm down. Sounds good.
And then next time, Muslims in America. We'll go some international fucking nuclear arms race. Maybe why we should just get rid of it.
Ain't gonna happen. The only reason North Korea has them is for a bargaining chip to make them feel as if they can negotiate with other places, but they have whatever. Fuck them.
So you want to give a shout out to North Korea? Darin, shout out is to North Korea this week.
Huh? Yeah, right.
Sure. I'm just kidding.
My shout out is our bombs are bigger.
Oh, he did one. You're not into individual shout outs.
That's why I did it to it wasn't individual. Let's just say the communist North Korean government.
Fuck yeah. All right, my
not the people, the government.
All right, you know who my shout out is to this week? The coolest man ever. He goes by the name of Clint Ryan.
Oh yeah?
Coolest guy ever, right? I mean,
grew up
does it get any cooler?
Yeah, he's pretty mellow. He's a good dude. Never heard of him ever wronging anybody. Like I said, I grew up with him. We've lost contact. We're still contact over Facebook.
Oh man, I have a crazy story. You know, I'll just share it real quick.
Hurry up! I gotta pee.
All right. So I'm hanging out with some buddies, right? And this is in maybe the 2000s, before smartphones.
Yeah.
I think I page him, and I'm hanging out with some like uncharacteristic dudes. Anyways, they go and rob him. I leave, and they answer the page or whatever. They go and rob him, and he never blamed me for it. This was like a really short, sweet version of it, but I mean, just a testament to how cool he knew that I had nothing to do with it. I had left, and he had gone.
I remember very well when this went down, and I remember the hunt.
Oh, you remember?
Oh yeah, I know all about it. I know all about that.
Wow. See, we keep talking. We keep bringing up shit that we both know.
Yeah, he lived right up the street from me, and I played Little League with him, man. I know him since kindergarten. His parents lived, well, you know where San Francisco and Holder meet right there by his house?
Yep.
You know that softball field down the street?
Yep.
I lived 3 houses from that.
Oh, yeah.
So I knew Clint very well.
Yeah, I used to roll with Sean Snyder forever.
Yeah, I know Snyder. Well, know him, but yeah, I know him.
back in the day.
Yeah. Dude, I got to go, dude. I got to pee. All
right, go pee. We'll see you next time, brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on. Have a good night.
Okay. Hey.
Yo.
Aim towards the middle of the bowl.
I'll try, and I'll still get it all over the place.
And put the toilet seat up.
I'll try. Later.
All right. Later. Well, this has been episode 25. Felt like we went some places and we touched on some things that would not have happened in a normal Facebook thread, which, has been absolutely disgusting as far as results of getting anywhere, of talking about anything of substance, and leaving emotion out of the conversation. One of the main reasons why I started this podcast was to, alleviate the burden of talking in a Facebook thread because of a meme, a picture, or a Facebook post. This is the way to talk about stuff. It's not give it 10 minutes, let that emotion build up, and then send the most hateful thing that you can, which I don't. I know I have been guilty of this, but I've been trying to be better about it just by expressing an idea or a fact, or trying to propose a different idea without without offending anyone, by just talking about ideas on a Facebook thread. It can't happen. It won't happen. Your chances are very low of getting it done. What you need to do is come on Mercury's cast, and we'll figure it out. A live discussion is the way to do it. A Facebook thread only divides, and I think that's what the powers that be. Let's go a little conspiracy theory. The powers that be want black people and white people to be going at each other, because as long as there's a racial divide in the country, us as Americans will be segregated, will be divided. It won't be like Jim Crow laws. It'll be more like emotionally divided, and we will never get anything done like what we did in 1773 or whenever it was, that us as Americans stood together and said, fuck you, Britain. We ain't taking your shit no more, because we all stood together. There was no divider. There was no black. There was no white. Well, at that point, there was probably black slaves, but 250 years ago, we had some fucked up ways of doing shit. What do you want? Don't blame me. I'm not Hitler. I didn't own any slaves. Anyways, as long as we are divided along these racial lines, we're going to keep fighting each other and not fighting the man, the government that spends all of our money on wars and other bullshit and lets beautiful cities like Detroit, Camden, New Jersey, Compton, California, at one point, a lot of great places are filled with a bunch of diverse people, with a bunch of great diverse people, and they have us at each other's necks. And as long as we are fighting amongst each other, we will never get anything done as a country, because we will be stuck on these issues that divide us. So once we figure out a way to unite everyone against one common cause that we can all agree on that is fucking us up, which could be the two-party system, or how the Pentagon has lost trillions of dollars, or all these overseas wars and where is all that money going, or about the fucking homeless population of America and all of these poverty-riddled cities like Detroit. I mean, Detroit is a perfect example of a flourishing, beautiful metropolis that is now in the fucking gutter. And we can blame outsourcing if we want. And we could pool our sources together as Americans if we want. If we weren't divided along the lines of Black Lives Matter and fucking white people for Trump, and we just created a GoFundMe for the city of Detroit. It might be out there. I don't know. Maybe I need to do a little more research instead of talking out of my ass. But if we had these things that we could gather for and stop hating one another because of racial lines or because of police brutality or because of systematic racism, and if it exists, alienating white people is not going to help it. I mean, fuck. Getting mad at other Americans, unless they're politicians, is not going to do anything. And burning down buildings is not going to do anything. What we need to do is find a way to find a common denominator so we can group our resources together to fight what it truly is that is plaguing this country, which is the media that keeps us distracted from the real issues that the government is making.